Hello people, Linker here, and today we're talking hot takes. These are opinions that go against the consensus. Sometimes they turn out to be predictions and prophecies, but otherwise, some of them are just that, hot takes. So today we're going to analyze 12 of the best hot takes from the best AFKArena content creators. Volkin, Hippo, myself, many more, and of course we're going to rank them on a tier list. Obviously I respect everyone that's being ranked here, this is all done in good humor. So like, subscribe, join. Let's dive right into it. We need to be ranking those hot takes. I'm actually gonna start off with a different one. The test server popularity, for those of you that don't know, is where we first saw the results of hero popularity. I actually made a video on that, right? You could see what heroes are popular at what stage. And here you see obviously very common heroes. And then you have stuff like Lucius, I guess you get it more. What was pretty interesting to see is that if you're talking about, I don't know, there were a bunch of serious hot takes about like buffs and stuff like that. What people used for all kinds of sets. Top hero for chapter 16, I think, was Isabella with furniture or something. It was really something else. Like nothing you would ever anticipate. It was pretty fun. It was pretty fun to see. It was pretty fun to overview. I actually had a video on that. The hot takes themselves are pretty trash, but I don't think it completely lacks merit as a hot take because first, it validates content creators being existing and everything. And second, it's a good feature. So as the feature itself is good. So not everything about this is terrible, just people's decisions. So it places in C, it validates content creators being alive. Terrible hot takes. Nothing that makes sense. Going in strong, the second one we're gonna rank is going to be Whitesushi. Whitesushi said a bunch of pretty interesting things. Whitesushi made a bunch of awesome Reddit guides about values of the different events. It's not for nothing that he's on the top of Reddit. But here what he was saying is as follows. The old Ferael 9 furniture, right? So you used to have the Ferael 9 furniture being the haste debuff. So this thing, right? Where he would stun stuff. Whitesushi said that is trash. Like completely and utterly trash. You should not invest into it at all. It's worthless. Completely terrible. Like no reason to do it whatsoever. Just leave it there. Like Hendrik outclasses it. Like, I don't know. Like he put stuff like, I don't know, Shamira outclassing it. Like he said, Ferael 9 out of 9 is completely meaningless. He auto attacks for basically 8 times in the fight, the old 9 out of 9. It was a good hot take on the face of it. And the reason that it was a good hot take was that nobody saw nobody understood how Ferael works at the time. Nobody understood how often that procs. There was not enough testing on this hero. What you can know about Ferael is this. Sushi's take was good in the sense that it brought awareness. I disagree about the 9 out of 9, even after testing, even at the time it allowed him to stun lock things. And also it overlooks the fact that his stats, I actually did the Ferael hero overview. The stats on his furniture, especially these parts, is really good. Like you have dodge, you have crits, you have a bunch of things that you really not want to miss. So hot take is pretty interesting. It brought awareness. But then again, it overlooks stuff like the stats. And I think it's a little bit too negative, a little bit too spicy. So I'm going to place it on a respectable B tier. It brought awareness, it was good. B for brought awareness. Obviously Sushi would be able to reason that further, and obviously it was changed since. But yeah, good stuff overall. Persona 5. Persona 5, I don't know which of you remember the initial hype on Persona 5 heroes. I actually released a video on Persona 5 heroes when it just came out. So the idea was this. Queen gains the defense spiraling. She has a bunch of weird CC that we never saw before. And then Joker, he had the long 2 ability, but nobody thought it was really viable because he doesn't CC really for the team. He only does damage. So people thought, okay, like, do we really need an extra carry? And does this guy really outclass Irons? And they were like, no. So basically, the take was that Queen is better. And if you choose one for trials, you should choose Queen. If you're buying just one of them, you should buy Queen. That was mainstream. Everybody said that. Riptide said that, Volkin kind of mentioned it, Hippo I think mentioned that too, but I'm not sure, so I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. Reddit was full of Queen over Joker everywhere. And at the time I made a video and I analyzed them just preemptively and I said, look, people, I'm gonna come in strong with a hot take. Come in strong with a hot take. Riptide was like saying Queen is better than Joker everywhere. And I come in strong with a hot take. And I said Joker is gonna be better than Queen. Joker is going to be on the line on the bottom of the meta and he's going to kind of push there, and Queen is going to be a little bit below. Both are going to see some usage, both are going to be tested with, but Joker's going to end up better. And boy was I right. Like, as people tested Queen, they saw that she's super clunky. Obviously there's some stuff to test with that new hero, Respen, and we'll talk about Respen in just a second. We actually have this over here. But man, Joker outclassing Queen was a huge prediction. Huge prediction, and it went against every single other content creator that there was. And I actually got people to choose Joker over Queen, despite other content creators like Queen is actually super cool, she spirals, you can't even compare. Joker ended up better, so in hindsight, great hot take. I'm gonna give myself a solid A. But then, I'm not perfect, chat. I'm not perfect, chat. Another hot takes that I had. I was ranking the furniture very early. So furniture, interesting stuff. And Lyca at the time was purely a buff hero on Aimb. So what Lyca furniture does, if you don't remember, chat, this is going to be a pretty nice one. People are laughing in the chat. Alright, let me show you quickly. So Lyca furniture, what it does, it isn't a buff one. Chat making fun of me. Self-plug, not really, not in this one. It hits enemies with rapid arrows and allows it to do more normal attacks. So it doesn't buff. Lyca's furniture does not buff. There's no buffs on Lyca's furniture whatsoever. So I said, yo people, Lyca's furniture is actually trash. You shouldn't build that thing. Leave it away. It's not good. It's like average, kind of maybe underwhelming for meta or something. Don't build that thing. Boy was I wrong. I think other content creators fell for this too. Not many other content creators make tier lists. But in the start, not many actually shouted it out. I want to mention favorably here Artie, that very early said this is going to be viable, this is going to be huge. I did not say that. I said it's trash, and it took me a while to correct that hot take. So that hot take at the time, I'm going to give myself an F. It's just incorrect. It's just like terrible hot take. Like a little bit of testing would have probably shown me otherwise. I was too lazy. I didn't do the hot takes. It was just doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. This hot take was really terrible by me. I was wrong. I obviously fixed it on the very next furniture tier list update, right? I fixed that, and the rest of the list was like mad accurate. But that hot take, I'm not gonna excuse it. I was wrong there, and I fixed it. Not the best hot take. Next, we have Riptide talking about Kren. We gotta talk about Riptide for a second. Riptide said the following words about Kren. A, too fragile for PvP. 2, not gonna find any use in campaign or PvP. And then later, he kind of fixed it in the end of that summary of that video, maybe viable in Mauler Tower. So, as we now know from the endgame data, that hero can be viable. But that was not actually correct. Like, push comp works with Kren, god comp works with Kren. He sucks with burst and he doesn't work in PvP. But he actually works. He's like Saturana in terms of usage. You have Kren used in 15% of stages. And for an early hero, that indicates he'll probably rise up to even 20. Now, is it a niche? Sure, it's a niche. It's like 20% of sets, and it's in a place where a lot of people just get Kren and test him. So, alright. He's not, like, that's not like an outright terrible mistake. Because he said he's going to be too fragile for PvP, that's absolutely correct. He said he's going to be a little iffy in PvE. So, on Mauler Tower, absolutely incorrect. In Mauler Tower, that thing outclasses Saturana. On PvE, Kren is actually seeing usage very early, so we can predict that as time goes on, this hero will find some use. He's closer to where I ranked him, perhaps a little lower than I ranked him, where I said he's slightly above average. He's very slightly above average, but seems to be above average. So for Riptide's hot take, it's a cool hot take, don't get me wrong, but I'm going to take it on the C tier, because it seems to have been too early. While Riptide did do the tests, I'm unimpressed with the results. But I'll leave it a window here. So if Kren falls out of viability, or if Queen becomes completely like mad over Joker, next tier list we'll put Riptide on S tier. So next, we have one of the more famous hot takes, which is gonna be Aimb with the Portal Core. Now Aimb and a bunch of other content creators, Grub too, by the way, Clean My Whip, a bunch of others, have talked about the Portal Core and Portal Party way before it was a thing. Way before the Oden rework and the Oden buffs. Like, very early on, we're talking patch 1.50, they were using this. And that was a mad hot take, nobody else was. But this comp is rising in viability. The idea is that you can control enemies, either displace them for something like a Thorin, or just gain complete control with stuff like Joker even on Isolde and just win the match. Now, considering how early Aimb predicted the set and how much investment he put into spreading it and how much it cost, I'm gonna give this hot take an A. I think this is a very strong hot take, Portal Core catching the later stages. He was not at chapter 35 when he made this, but we do start seeing those replays start to kind of propagate up the ladder, find himself on chapter 35, 36. With the Oden rework that he did not know would happen 100%, this set is actually seeing usage. So considering how early that hot take was, I want to give it an A. I think he saw the potential very, very early before anyone else would see what hero would work with Oden or with Pippa, by the way. Next up, we have Thane. Now Thane. People like Furry Hippo, like Goody, on my podcast, by the way, talked about how Thane is actually a viable hero. Now, if at complete investment, they have proven Thane can do insane things approaching chapter 35. They have proven it with stuff like sometimes Albedo, Ezio, with like heroes that you could kind of leave out, kind of not. All kinds of different stuff. So very, very interesting stuff. But, chat, and this is a very big but that you gotta remember. A lot of heroes will work at full investment. Most of the heroes that you expect investing into this much have to really deliver at those amounts of investment. Like Isolde is a hero you invest full into and he works. Thane is gonna be a little more tricky. He has a lot of counters. His allies can fall down. It's not as simple to use. While at full investment, he can work in ranking in an F or C tier, which is essentially the essence of the hot take. They're saying, yo, people that rank him in F or C, they're too meta-minded, they're not understanding, there's alternatives. The amount of investment they take, and this is going to be very similar to Queen, by the way. Both Thane and Queen are heroes that take a lot of investment to work. So I'm going to give this take a hot B. And the reason I'm going to give it a B is this, is that, sure, Thane deserves a little bit higher and people are too dominated by tier lists and meta and too just meta-minded, I get that. But the amount of investment that Thane takes to work is a lot, and there's a lot of heroes that would still outclass it. And people that go with this hot, they gotta remember that. They gotta remember there's a lot of other heroes. If you like Thane, you can invest in them, you'll be probably fine. But remember that there's heroes that would do more with less. Respen being hot, okay, fine, that's not a hot take. Respen, if you say Respen is ugly, that's a hot take and goes in F tier. Anyways, Respen, people said he's gonna be completely meta. He's gonna be burst, he's gonna be an Irons counter. People also said that he's gonna be an instant pick, he's gonna be first place, he's gonna be the first thing that you do, he's gonna be incredible, he's gonna be in the top 15 heroes, he's gonna give competition to Aaron. Alright, and people kinda turn from that, so I wanna show you people Exhibit A. So as you can see, these are two very different videos in essence. Here he's crying, here he's badass. I'm not saying that Volkin was wrong on this, by the way. I'm just saying that people figured out that he's not as big as everybody thought. People were overhyping this guy like mad. People thought he's Rowan 2.0, he's Ferael and Isolde and Aaron into one hero. I said very early, he's going to be a slow hero. He's not going to match up into first. He's going to be on the lower end of above average heroes. He's going to be above average, but slightly he's not going to give a fight to Aaron. That was a pretty good hot take. I did overlook a few things though. I did not talk about the Oden synergy. When I was thinking about Respen, how he matches into stuff like Portal Core, I did not 100% mention like where I think exactly he places. So my hot take was that he's not as common, but I did not detail that hot take too much. So I'm gonna give myself a B tier. My take on Respen was good. I predicted his usage and where he goes very well, but I did not like talk about it the way I would like to talk about it. I would say, people are saying he's burst, he's actually slow since the very start, you know? So people kind of figured out, like, the hot take was good overall, but it's kind of like Thane. Like, the hot take has true essence in it, but it was not spoken to the full capacity of that hot take. It wasn't taken to the max. Who here knows Volkin? So Volkin had a video, it was a while back, and he said, Lucretia or Zafrael? And he picked Lucretia and did not detail anything. He just picked Lucretia. He didn't talk about usage, he didn't talk about anything, he just said, yo, she seems better at the time. Later, he kind of reasoned everything out and kind of talked about it, but like on initial looks, he just said, yo, I'm gonna pick Lucretia, but each to his own, I just think she's better. At the time, it was a hot take. People thought Zafrael's gonna be the better one. And Zafrael's incredible, but nowadays we know Lucretia is easier to use, takes less investment. More common because she's just easier to kind of fit into a set. You don't need as much furniture, you don't need as much investment, you know. Volkin's hot take saying Lucretia is better very early on turned out to be very correct. It turned out that Volkin was correct. Either he was a prophet or he saw the potential. At the time, I think Ferael was better, like 3 buffs ago, Lucretia, but right now she just cheeses every set. So that goes into A tier for Volkin being a prophet. A tier for a prophet. That's what's gonna happen. Xapy's hot take was as follows. He says something very simple. Xapy is nihilistic. Xapy said, yo, Lyca, actually let me talk about the Stargazing take first, because it kind of depended, like it kind of builds off of it. So, the Stargazing take is me saying early Stargazing is better than a 4 faction. Goes right to A tier. I smacked justice with that one, and it's not like 100% decided, but we do have the numbers coming in. The more numbers come in, the better I am. Had a debate with RD2. Incredible hot take. People think 4 faction is better for F2Ps. Nope. Stargazing is better for F2Ps. Bringing justice forward. There you go. You see the little chimera there? That's the little thing we put on the thumbnail. Every bit of that video is absolutely smacking fire. So that's me saying that Stargazing is better than a 4 faction. And now, for the part that Xapy was waiting for. So Xapy has a nihilistic take. And what Xapy is saying is as follows. He's saying, yo, gazing might be better at chapter 35. When F2Ps reach chapter 35, they're so hard stuck, it doesn't even matter. So it doesn't even matter. You might as well do 4 faction because you're so stuck you won't even bear progress. Basically is what he's saying. What do we think about Xapy's nihilism? Well, Xapy's nihilism is awesome, but I hate that. I don't like that approach as a whole. I just don't like that approach. I don't like that approach because if you're saying that there's no point to planning towards endgame because you're being stuck, I hate that approach. I'm gonna be a hater for that. I'm gonna place it on the C tier. It's right, it's correct, it has the merit, but I hate that approach. It's just too sad. I don't like it. I don't like that playing. I don't like thinking that, yo, there's no point because everybody's stuck. Because then what's the purpose? Like, why do you play the game if everybody's stuck? Then why do it? It's like very nihilistic philosophy that says everybody will die eventually, so why not just suicide? You don't matter. Stick it in the nihilism tier. Yeah, this is nihilism. All of this is nihilism, by the way. There you go. Because this is Riptide saying Kren is terrible and having no optimism towards him. This is test server giving me nihilism because I'm saying, yo, what have I been doing? Like, are you even looking at content? You know? And for the very last take, this is me saying that Aimb is going to break the game. I said very early on, by the way, if you look at my videos, I said Aimb and Albedo are going to be completely broken. They're going to be better than the God comp. They're going to be better than anything. These heroes are completely broken. And people told me, Lyca, you're trash. Lyca, you have no idea what you're talking about. This is a mid-tier hero. He doesn't even scale off of enemies like stuff like Mahira that's like mainstream. He doesn't have enough control. He's kind of a mediocre hero. He's not going to find a place. He's going to be too squishy. Meadow not gonna work. She's just a weird tank. Nobody's gonna use her with Aimb. It's all trash. And I came to all those haters on Reddit, on YouTube, on Discord, on WhatsApp, on TapTap, on everywhere, on MySpace. Okay? And I told them, Aimb is gonna smack. Aimb is gonna be busted. You better spend all your resources into getting Aimb because he's gonna outclass the God comp by a mile. By a mile. I said it very early on. People overviewed them. Volkin was a little bit skeptical, but he ended up saying they're good. Hippo kind of had a bunch of overviews where he talked about them. I was the only one that hyped them that level. On Reddit, many people deleted posts where they would say, Aimb is trash. No reason to get it. It's absolutely terrible. Later it turned out to the whole drama where people said, yo, we can't get the dimensionals, they're too good. But what did the MySpace say about Aimb? They said he's trash. Even OnlyFans said that he's trash. But no, I stood up to it. I said that Aimb is gonna smack, Albedo's gonna smack, and that's gonna be an S tier hot take. It wasn't hot take at the time, and it's an S tier hot take. It's an accurate prediction, the kind of thing people come to my channel to have. I'm just so busted, it's almost like a huge barrier entry for newer players. That's correct. And people did not predict he'd be as good as he was. And I made a couple of videos. Let me show you this quickly, chat. Like, I made a bunch of videos. These two primarily. On Aimb. This one's actually got a lot of views for me. Look at the saturation. Look at the saturation come through. So yeah. So I made videos very, very early. I think it was the earliest one that said that Aimb is gonna be smack. and I was the first one, like the first review I ever said was that Ainz is gonna smack. I did 2 other videos before Ainz came out, one about the nerf, one as an overview. Both of them I said Ainz is still gonna smack. People doubted, went back and forth. We ended up being correct. Saturation was terrible, PogChamp. Yeah, I've improved in editing scenes. I think I've improved. This is gonna be the ultimate hot takes tier list, chat. Anybody that disagrees is just wrong. It's just like an objective hot take tier list. There's no opinion about this part, it's just like objective. There's nothing to disagree about. None of this up to my opinion. Alright, so these were the hot takes. Some of them aged like fine wine, and others, well, aged like cheese. So for now, definitely like, subscribe, join, let me know what you think below, and I've been Linker. Peace.